Alright guys, I'm going to go through a little bit of unboxing. Got my wiring harness here. Some instructions. There's that harness. Looks pretty good. I actually already opened this before, but the audio didn't turn out very well, so I had to redo it. Yeah, the only thing that I really noticed on this wiring harness that was kind of questionable was the way they taped up these ends. It's like they use like box tape or something. It's not very good, but I mean overall the quality is pretty good. It's just like a cheaper, like a Chinese kind of built tuck harness, which I'm honestly, for the price, I think it's a pretty good deal. These ones look pretty much OE. These clips, you can tell they're a little cheaper, but overall it looks pretty good. I'm gonna end up going through it, and I'm gonna make sure that all the wires go where they're supposed to, so I don't burn up an ECU, because that'd be a bad day. So they gave me some like instructions, which is kind of impressive. I didn't expect to see that with like a cheaper harness. They actually gave some pinouts and stuff, which is kind of nice. Is my shifter, the shifter cables. They're just like a cheaper kind of setup. When it showed up in the box, it was actually like Jack Spanier Racing, which, yeah, it's definitely a cheaper brand. But I haven't used it before, so it's kind of interesting to see, like, what it's about, because I've heard pretty good things about this kit. We got like the transmission bracket. It's like a nice looking piece. Honestly, it looks pretty well made. It'll be interesting to see if everything lines up and fits. But I mean, overall, what I've seen in here is it's pretty good. The main shifter, it looks just like what it's copying, which it's a pretty good copy. But yeah, it's a pretty nice unit overall. I'm not entirely sure why there's so many drilled holes in this thing. I don't know what that's for. Maybe it'll make sense later. I guess we'll find out. Let's see, we got in here. They sent me a red anodized shift knob, which I don't remember it actually listing that it came with a shift knob. I don't necessarily like it. It says Jack Spanier Racing on it, which kind of screams real cheap. Honestly, it's a pretty decent looking shift knob if you ignore the logo. I don't know if I'll use that or not. Probably not. I'll probably find something else, but it's nice that it came with it. Let's see. We've got the actual shifter piece itself. Oh, I just dropped some things. Oh, I think there were some set screws in there. It looks pretty nice. It's nice that it's got a bunch of adjustment. I fully expect to break this. I'm pretty hard on equipment, as people know. So we'll see how long it holds up. But for the price, you really can't bitch. Got some hardware in here. Got like some bolts and little washers. Then we got the shift cables, which they look pretty legit. It'll be nice to see how they actually fit onto the shifter and whether it feels like it shifts pretty good. And it's the fittings on the ends here, they definitely feel like a cheaper quality metal. I don't know for sure. It's very well possible that it could be the same as what they use on the actual brand names, but overall, it's a pretty good looking unit. So I guess we're going to start working on the car and see what we can get to work. Okay, so this is what I'm working on now. I'm trying to figure out how I can make this shifter work. I was originally thinking going underneath, but it looks like I'm gonna have to either make a huge plate or cut a whole bunch. And I was looking on the top, and I think I can maybe make it work. My problem I'm having now, so you can see, if I put this on here, that's about where it needs to be. I'll have to cut this section. I may have to either I'm gonna have to move this to somewhere else because it's not gonna work in that location. I'm probably gonna lose the cup holders, which is that's not the best option, but I guess it is what it is. But the biggest thing I was noticing is when I was looking at the cable situation, there's a heater duct right here that I can cut a little bit right in this area, but I can't cut into here or further into here. So that's actually where the air is flowing through. So I need to figure out if there's a way I can get this cable to bend enough to go down through a hole, or I was thinking about maybe cutting the back of this shifter off so I can slide the whole shifter back a little bit further so I have more room to get the cables under the floor. I'm not sure yet. So you kind of see what I'm talking about here about the shifter, about where the cables are. They come out so much further than where this plate is. They're gonna, if you look at like the level of where this shifter is here to where that goes, it's basically gonna go through the floor about right here. This is about 5 inches from here, and that puts it in the way of the vent. But if you look, I think I can get a little bit more. I might be able to get like another 1/2 inch on there. I'm not positive, we'll see. I took a measurement and I could get it down to about 4. So I don't know, I think what I'm gonna try doing is I'm gonna try cutting the center console to get that cut so I know kind of approximately what I can do forward and backwards with the shifter part. And then I'm probably just gonna cut the hole for where I think the shift cables are gonna go and then position the shifter from that point on. What the fuck? Forgot I got the wrong blades here. I didn't go buy new ones, so I guess we're gonna try something else. It's not really what it's meant for, but I suppose this carbide bit will do the job. I mean, let's be real, these cup holders weren't that great to begin with, so can't really feel bad. It's really starting to look like hell, but don't worry, this is all gonna get cleaned up, smoothed out when I finally get done with it. It's kind of sort of starting to fit. It's pretty close to where it needs to be in place. These screw holes are lining up there. Yeah, definitely not gonna be able to keep the cup holders, that's for sure. So I still gotta cut all of this, and a whole bunch of this for the cables to fit through, not to mention this is gonna hit here, so I think this whole section is gonna have to be gone. So there's not gonna be much left of this side of the console, but I mean, gotta do what you gotta do, right? Because race car. All right, guys, well, I didn't have a lot of time this weekend, so I didn't get nearly as much accomplished as I wanted to, so there's not a lot of working on the car content. I did a lot of going to basketball games for my son this weekend, which, if you're interested, his team won. But I did a lot of, running around and picking up parts and stuff. One of my buddies, he had a bunch of parts for the car, so I was able to pick up some of that, and then I went and picked up some other parts from another guy. I picked a couple axles up from my buddy. These are like some RSX axles that he had laying around. I found out that the axles that I have, which are B-Series axles, even though that Integra axle did fit on the driver's side, which you saw in the previous video, I talked to the company that made these mounts, and he was saying that the axle on this side may not work because I guess where it clips in is in a different spot, and it doesn't fully seat in the transmission. So there's a chance of it popping out. And he was saying to run EP3 axles, but my buddy had these RSX axles, so I figured, I'll give it a shot.
And then he also had like a slave cylinder laying around with like a line on it for, you know, like a K-swap or whatever. I'm gonna see if maybe I can make that work. I'm probably gonna have to flare the line and, you know, just get some fittings or whatever. And then I went and picked this up tonight. Got a air motive regulator with a few lines. I'm sure I'm gonna have to switch this out. But I mean, it was a pretty good deal. So I saved a lot of money there. Just need to get some more fuel lines. I need to get the fuel rail. And then I also picked these up from a buddy. Some Rota slips. I wasn't planning on getting wheels for the car because actually, really, you know, I really like those ones. But you know, when I'm planning on doing track stuff, and I figure I can use these, and I've got some other tires in the back that I can put on these ones. And they'll make really good track wheels. Wrap it up for this part of it. I'm gonna try and get a lot more done next weekend. I only had about an hour and a half this weekend, so I think next weekend I should have a full 2 days that I can get some stuff done. So I should get pretty far that next weekend. Hopefully I can get that shifter, you know, situation ironed out and start on wiring, and maybe I'll even have some fuel stuff to work on. We'll see. But until then, peace out.